This evening, first up, Power Team reappointed. President Irfaan Ali taps Mark Phillips as Prime Minister and Jagdeo as Vice President, while the President calls them a fusion of strength for the next 5 years. Plus, airport drug bust. A gold miner was caught with nearly 27 pounds of cocaine at Ogle. We'll tell you how he tried to slip past customs and why he is now behind bars. Also, war of words. The Guyana Press Association clashes with the Department of Public Information over press freedom, what both sides are saying, and what it means for media-government relations. Meanwhile, Brawl turns deadly. A US-based businessman killed during a confrontation at Coomacka Mines. One man is charged with murder as police widen their probe. Overseas, tensions flare in Turkiye. Police fire pepper spray and detain opposition supporters after a top party official is removed by court order. These stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 9, 2025. I am Bibi Pakis. Thank you for joining us. First up, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali on Monday appointed Brigadier retired Mark Phillips as Prime Minister and Dr. Jagdeo as Vice President, describing the duo as a powerful fusion of strength for his administration. The appointments were made in line with his constitutional authority. Both Phillips and Jagdeo served in Ali's previous administration from 2020 to 2025. President Ali praised Prime Minister Phillips for his dedication, leadership, and ability to inspire confidence across government, calling him a pillar of strength and competence who managed his extensive portfolio with efficiency and skill.
Brigadier Mark Anthony Phillips is not a newcomer to this high office. He was the able and capable Prime Minister during my first term, from 2020 to 2025. In those years, he stood as a pillar of strength and competence. He handled his expansive portfolio not just with efficiency, but with a masterful command that instilled confidence across the government and throughout the nation.
The President expressed confidence that Phillips would surpass his previous achievements in the next 5 years. Speaking about Vice President Jagdeo, President Ali highlighted his lifelong commitment to Guyana's socio-economic and political development, noting his unparalleled achievement and experience.
Dr. Jagdeo is not just a leader in government, he's a leader of the people. He connects the macro to the micro, ensuring that national policy always translates into tangible benefit for every Guyanese citizen. To have a leader of such immense stature, experience, and intellectual power serving once again as Vice President is the added assurance we can give to the people of Guyana that their future is in the safest of hands.
President Ali said the appointments reflect the unity of purpose and diversity of skills within his administration. He is expected to announce the remainder of his cabinet in the coming days to oversee the various sectors of government for the next 5 years. In other news, a gold miner has been remanded after being caught with over 26 pounds of cocaine at the Eugene F. Corentyne Airport. Dale Jarvis has more on the drug trafficking clampdown.
Authorities have tightened their clampdown on drug trafficking, leading to a gold miner being caught with a large quantity of cocaine at the Eugene F. Corentyne International Airport, and he has since been remanded to prison on drug trafficking charges. A 44-year-old gold miner, Junior Anthony Greaves of Kitty, Georgetown and Port Kaituma Waterfront Region 1, has been remanded to prison after being charged with trafficking 26.7 pounds of cocaine. Greaves was arrested on August 24, 2025 at the Eugene F. Corentyne International Airport after customs and narcotics officials intercepted him with one backpack and a brown box containing 11 brick-like parcels of the drug, weighing about 11 kilograms. Authorities said Greaves initially refused to have his baggage searched and walked off, ignoring calls from customs officers. He allegedly dropped the box into a taxi before attempting to flee, but was chased and intercepted by customs, police and immigration ranks at the Ogle Access Road traffic light. Along with the cocaine, officials seized $743,000 and a cell phone. Greaves appeared before Magistrate Abigail Gibbs at the Sparendam Magistrate Court on August 26, where he pleaded not guilty to the charge of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. Bail was denied and he was remanded to prison until September 19, 2025, when the matter is set for disclosure. The Police Narcotics Branch is handling the case with support from the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit and the Guyana Revenue Authority, as authorities continue to send a strong message that drug trafficking will not be tolerated and those caught will face the full weight of the law. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jervis.
Thanks, Dale. A war of words has erupted between the Guyana Press Association and the Department of Public Information following the re-election of President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali, highlighting ongoing tensions over press freedom and journalist treatment. In a statement on Monday, the Guyana Press Association congratulated President Ali and his government on the re-election, but called for improved relations between elected officials and the media. The association emphasized the importance of timely access to information, respect for journalists, and increased engagement with both the Guyana Press Association and the media on matters affecting press freedom. The Guyana Press Association also condemned recent incidents, including an exchange between President Ali and journalist Travis Chase outside the Elections Commission on September 5th, as well as verbal abuse by social media commentator and government contractor Mikhail Rodriguez against journalists, describing these as attacks on press freedom. The association also cited concerns from international observers about the polarized environment in which Guyanese journalists operate. Responding to the Guyana Press Association, the director of the Department of Public Information, Edward Lane, did not offer an opportunity for improved relations with the media, but rather labeled the Guyana Press Association as one of the most undemocratic, unbalanced, and biased organizations in Guyana. Lane dismissed the association's claim as inaccurate and untruthful, describing the Guyana Press Association's defense of Chase as politically motivated. Lane criticized Chase's conduct as aggressively confrontational and inflammatory toward a head of state. He reiterated that the Ali administration remains committed to freedom of expression while emphasizing that journalists must observe ethical professional conduct within the rule of law. The exchange highlights the ongoing challenges in striking a balance between government authority and press freedom in Guyana, as both sides reaffirm their positions on the roles and responsibilities of the media. Nevertheless, while the Guyana Press Association seeks improved relations and respect for journalists, which it believes are threatened by recent government actions, DPI argues that the Guyana Press Association's assertions are biased and fail to acknowledge the administration's commitment to freedom of expression. The dispute underscores the importance of ongoing dialogue and mutual understanding between government officials and the media, highlighting that a respectful, transparent, and professional relationship is crucial to safeguarding press freedom while ensuring accountability in Guyana's democratic process. Stick around when we return. Venezuelan ambassador dismisses claims of collusion between sanctioned Mohammed's and Maduro governments. And Ghana and Suriname presidents may meet this weekend to advance the Corentyne River Bridge project.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services. 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for Bharrat for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Venezuela's ambassador to Guyana, Carlos Amador Perez Silva, on Monday strongly rejected claims that Azruddin Mohammed, incoming leader of the opposition, and his father, Nizar Mohammed, have been colluding with the Nicolas Maduro government to undermine Guyana's security. Speaking on the sidelines of the swearing-in ceremony of Prime Minister Mark Phillips and Vice President Jagdeo, Ambassador Perez Silva dismissed repeated assertions made during the recent election campaign. It was suggested that Mohammed, leader of the We Invest in Nationhood Party and a U.S.-sanctioned businessman, along with his father, posed a threat to Guyana's sovereignty due to alleged ties with Venezuela. The ambassador said there was no collusion between Azruddin Mohammed and Nizar Mohammed and his country. He added that the Venezuelan embassy is open to all Guyanese, but declined to comment on individual visa matters, emphasizing the privacy of consular transactions. The controversy arose after claims that Nizar Mohammed had visited the Venezuelan embassy, prompting then Foreign Affairs Minister Hugh Todd to summon the ambassador for clarification. Azruddin Mohammed had at the time denied any contact with the Venezuelan government, calling the allegations part of a deliberate smear campaign by the PPPC. In a statement, he said the government had weaponized misinformation to sway public opinion, turning ambassadors into political pawns and relying on fear and deception to influence voters. The U.S. sanctioned the Mohammeds in June of 2024 for allegedly evading over $50 million in taxes on the export of more than 10,000 kilograms of gold. Despite the sanctions and election time controversy, the ambassador affirmed that there is no evidence of collusion between Venezuela and the Mohammed family. In other news, President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali has indicated that he may meet Suriname's President Dr. Jennifer Gerling Simmons as early as this weekend to accelerate discussions on joint initiatives, with the long-awaited Corentyne River Bridge high on the agenda. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday after the swearing-in of Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips and Vice President Dr. Jagdeo, President Ali said ministries from both countries are coordinating the meeting to advance key projects. The Corentyne River Bridge, spanning 3.1 kilometers from Molson Creek in Guyana to South Brain in Suriname, with a landing on Long Island, is expected to enhance regional connectivity, opening trade and tourism corridors between Guyana, Suriname, Brazil, and the wider South American market. Finance and arrangements for the bridge remain a primary focus of negotiations. Beyond transportation, the project envisions transforming Long Island into a duty-free commercial and tourism hub with hotels, recreational parks, shopping facilities, farmers markets, and entertainment venues. Earlier on Tuesday, President Ali hosted Suriname's Foreign Minister Melvin Boura at State House to strengthen bilateral cooperation. Discussions include Guyana's commitment to the bridge, resolving issues affecting local fisherfolks, improving the Guyana-Suriname ferry system, and exploring new investment opportunities. At the same time, President Ali met with Foreign Secretary Robert Prasad and Director of Presidential Affairs Marcia Nadir Sharma. The potential meeting between the two presidents signaled renewed momentum in advancing the Corentyne River Bridge project, which is poised to boost economic development and regional integration significantly. On a different note, a brutal confrontation at Coomacka Mines has left a U.S.-based Guyanese businessman dead and several others injured, sparking a murder charge and an ongoing police investigation. A 28-year-old construction worker, Joel Hardin, has been remanded to prison after being charged with the murder of 49-year-old Courtney Evans. The fatal incident occurred on August 31, 2025 at the Coomacka Mines beachfront, Upper Demerara River in London. Police reports indicate that Evans, who was visiting Guyana, was at the beach with relatives when they encountered another group of people, leading to a verbal altercation that quickly escalated into a physical brawl. During the confrontation, Evans sustained multiple injuries to his head, back, and elbow. He was rushed to the Linden Hospital complex but was pronounced dead while receiving treatment. His brother, Tyrone Otis Evans, also suffered a head injury and was hospitalized in serious condition. Harding appeared in the Linden Magistrates Court on Monday, where the murder charge was read to him. He was not required to enter a plea and was remanded to prison. The case is scheduled to return to court on October 20th for disclosure. The police confirmed that there were other individuals involved in the brawl, including a 22-year-old female teacher and another male, having been arrested and are assisting with the investigation. The Ghana Police Force has emphasized the gravity of this case as they work diligently to ensure accountability and provide justice for Courtney Evans and his grieving family. Don't go away after the break. London Underground at standstill as workers begin a week of strikes, and U.S. Trinidad strengthening ties amid regional tensions.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've been waiting for. Step right up because it's time for Digicel's $12 million punch and win. Top up with just $1,000 or more for a shot at winning up to $2 million weekly. That's right, up to $2 million weekly. 6 weeks, $2 million per week. Will you be one of our lucky winners? There's only one way to find out. Top up, punch, and win. Only with Digicel. Digicel, better connected.
Good girl, forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for Bharrat for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening. I am Nikita Ford. Welcome to our regional and international news segment, which keeps you informed and up to date with the trending news story worldwide. In the Caribbean, U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Orlando spoken with Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar. Orlando praised her public support for a U.S. military operation and stressed the need for a UN support office for Haiti amid growing regional instability. Meanwhile, in Europe, workers on London Underground Rail Network has begun a week of strike, bringing services to a standstill and disrupting travel for commuters and tourists. Al Jazeera Rowley Challenge report.
3 to 4 million journeys are made on London's tube trains on an average weekday. But Monday isn't one of those, nor Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday. Striking rail workers have shut the network down, and for most of this working week, commuters and tourists will need to find other ways of getting around.
I'm from Northampton. I've recently just moved to London, so everything's new to me. I've not been on a Lime bike, you know what I mean? Not been on a Lime scooter. It is all a bit much, but in terms of the impact, horrible.
You know about this strike? Well, yeah, we did. The internet helped, but it didn't tell us specifically today that this one was closed, so that's kind of a bummer. Yeah.
So what are you going to
do? Uber, for a lot more money.
RMT, the Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers Union, wants members to get a pay rise, a shorter working week, and says previous agreements haven't been honoured.
What alternative do we have? We've tried to engage them in talks. They've refused to take that seriously, and so we either keep calm and carry on and give up on ever addressing the question of fatigue and extreme working, or we take strike action, and that's what we've done. It is not what we want to do.
But the London Underground's management says their 3.4% pay rise offer is in line with the norm, and a 32-hour working week would be unaffordable. But until there's a resolution, it'll be the capital's workers and businesses picking up the bill.
$309 million. That's what the Centre for Economics and Business Research estimates as the direct hit from these strikes. But it admits that's a conservative figure. Reduced footfall in shops and restaurants, reduced productivity, increased congestion on the roads. Once you add in these indirect costs, the pain's going to be much higher.
Expensive and overcrowded, commuting in London is rarely much fun, and this week is definitely one to forget. Rory Challens, Al Jazeera, London.
Police have fired pepper spray and arrested supporter of Turkiye, main opposition party, as crowd gather outside the headquarters of Republican People Party in Istanbul to protest against court order removing a senior party official. Al Jazeera's Sayın Kasiglu reports.
Tempers flare outside the Istanbul headquarters of Turkey's main opposition party, CHP. This follows a court ruling on September 2 that annulled the party's 2023 provincial congress on the grounds of alleged irregularities. The decision led to the dismissal of elected party officials and the appointment of a temporary committee, triggering protests and a fierce backlash from the main opposition.
They are annulling our Istanbul Provincial Congress, shamelessly appointing a trustee. They're sending police to block the entrance of our provincial headquarters. They're violating our home, our sacred space, by not letting CHP members enter the house of their political family.
Party member Gürsel Tekin has now taken over as appointed chairman of the CHP in Istanbul. He insists the move was internal and not made through outside intervention. But Tekin was only able to enter the building under police escort amid a backlash directed at him by party members.
The court has made a ruling. Those who filed the complaint are CHP members. All parties involved are from CHP. The colleagues who recommended us are also members of the Republican People's Party. We are not trustees or anything like that.
One of the dismissed provincial leaders says the move was politically driven.
The government can't accept CHP as Turkiye's leading party and is trying to reshape it through the courts. But as devoted members, we won't allow it. We'll resist through all legal means.
And for some supporters, the judiciary's involvement amounts to an attack on democracy.
This isn't a military coup, but a civilian one carried out through the courts, and sadly by the people claiming to be CHP members.
While the dispute stems from internal tensions within the CHP, the ruling party's involvement is under scrutiny after the main opposition gained control of key municipalities in 2023 local elections.
With experts questioning the constitutional basis of the rulings, this is no longer just a party dispute, but a wider battle over the future of Turkiye's democracy. Sinem Köseoğlu, Al Jazeera, Istanbul.
Sudan said the lack of coordination and exchange of information by Ethiopia while building the dam could threaten its own reservoir. Three countries depend on water from the Nile and have been at odds over how to share it. Al Jazeera Mohammed Falls reports.
With the Ethiopian Grand Renaissance Dam in full operation, downstream, Sudan's hydropower dams are on high alert. Osiris is the closest. It's 60 years older and when constructed was 25 times smaller, and will likely bear the brunt of the fallout if anything goes wrong at the Ethiopian dam. But so far so good, say the operators at Osiris.
Until now, we haven't felt any bad impact on power production. We've heard talk, but haven't seen anything worth mentioning.
Not only that, but Sudan could also benefit from the dam upstream. One of the serious problems since the initial filling of the Osiris reservoir in 1966 has been the accumulation of silt. By 2010, the lake already lost 30% of its capacity. Removing that silt has been near impossible due to logistical challenges and cost. The only solution was to increase the height of the dam by 10%. That happened in 2013, increasing its storage capacity from 3 to 7.1 billion cubic meters. Now engineers say the problem of more silt in the future has largely been solved by the Ethiopian dam.
The first benefit has been controlling the overflow, which used to be extremely high. Then there is the reduction of the huge amounts of silt and trees that the river used to bring into Roseris during the rainy season, causing its storage capacity to shrink by a third.
Roseris' output of 280 megawatts powers several neighboring regions and irrigates more than 1 million hectares of farmland. It also supplies drinking water storage facilities all the way to Khartoum. It's so vital, Sudanese say, they don't even want to think about anything happening to it. But they may have to.
Imagine if you have Roseris at high level and too much water come. It might overtop the dam itself. And the problem is that the two sides of the Roseris dam are earth embankment. It's not concrete. And this earth embankment is very vulnerable to this kind of huge flow coming in.
Any damage to the dam could cause devastating flooding, and Yasser says this could happen without proper coordination with the operators of the Ethiopian dam, which has been the case so far.
Without a legally binding agreement on the cooperation between the GERD and Roseris, I think the Roseris dam is in high risk.
But political leaders have yet to agree on any accord, a crucial requirement that could make or break livelihoods and peace in communities on the Nile. Mohammed Val, Al Jazeera, at the Roseris Dam in Damazin, Sudan.
Thanks, Nikita. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3D Weather Forecast. And that's it to be 2 headline news for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.